there is a future where blockchain and AI come together. And I want to explore this a bit more. And I'm going to do it with one of the true OGs of the space, Barry Silbert. Barry's an old friend of mine. He's been on Real Vision since the very early days, I think 2014. He's a great thinker in the space, a great pioneer. Obviously, he built Grayscale. He built many, many businesses in the space. And what he's now seeing is a huge opportunity, an early stage opportunity in investing in that nexus between crypto and AI itself.
Hey guys, welcome to Everyday Finance. In this new era that Raoul Pal describes, Bitcoin is making significant moves, including reclaiming the $87,000 mark for the first time since March. This comes after a sharp recovery from earlier lows around $75,000. This 16% surge indicates that Bitcoin may be breaking out of the range-bound pattern it has been stuck in since the beginning of March. Analysts such as Scott Melker have highlighted the fact that Bitcoin's rally stands out even as traditional markets such as Nasdaq futures continue to fall. Bitcoin's behavior is becoming less linked to stocks and more aligned with gold, which suggests that it is maturing into a true safe haven asset. This is an interesting development at the moment. Both Bitcoin and gold are reacting to the 10% drop in the US dollar index throughout the year 2025, according to the Kabisi letter, which notes that this is the first time in years that they are moving in tandem with one another. It has been brought to the attention of analysts such as Recap that Bitcoin has not only broken out of its downward trend, but has also successfully retested it as support. This is a powerful bullish signal that provides the foundation for even more significant movements in the weeks to come.
And how are they going to deal with, or how's that community going to deal with the fact that intelligence is almost going to zero in cost because of the massive warfare between all the major AI competitors, including China, plus OpenAI, plus everybody else, Perplexity or whoever?
I think it completely validates the whole Bittensor model. Think about the internet. At the time when you access the internet via America Online and Prodigy and CompuServe, and all of a sudden the browsers launch and you can now get the exact same thing for free that you were getting via Prodigy America Online, this is what Bittensor is enabling. So whether it is cheaper, faster access to compute, or cheaper, faster access to models, or cheaper, faster access to data, by leveling the playing field and making it accessible to anybody in the world is what is going to enable the creation of the Ubers and the Airbnbs and the TikToks and the businesses that were built on top of the internet that you could have never have imagined Uber in 1995.
And then
right?
You don't have a single point of failure, which is the API from OpenAI or the API from Meta, Gemini or whatever.
Well, and you have you certainly have the redundancy and scalability, but you also have, there is no gated access. There's no censorship. It's just like the internet and the World Wide Web of information. You're opening up this intelligence to the world. And now it's up to the teams to figure out, how am I going to use this intelligence that's being generated as a way to pay my bills and to monetize? And it's very cool because in Bittensor, you're seeing subnet teams working with each other. You're seeing applications being built on top of a number of subnets, where they're pulling intelligence from different subnets and creating a product that's then monetizable. Where at the end of the day, for Bittensor to be successful, you will hopefully be using applications built on Bittensor, and you will have no idea that it was built on top of Bittensor.
So there's an early vision that people share. Let's say the Bitcoin white paper, the peer-to-peer global cash system, right? That was not what it was in the end. So how do you think this changes? So I want you to now go ahead 5 years, 7 years, wherever it is, somewhere in the future where it's broader, deeper, more developed. What is this thing? Because it's probably not what you think it is today.
It's not. The boldest prediction that I could make for Bittensor is it could be a better version of Bitcoin as a global store of value. in that instead of spending the $10-12 billion a year that is spent to secure the Bitcoin network, imagine if you spent that 10 or 12 billion dollars to incent a global problem solving network of people who are looking to solve major world problems. And if that 10 billion became 20 billion or 50 billion, $100 billion, think about the magic that could happen if you harness that. And again, I'm not suggesting that it's not valuable to spend $10-12 billion a year to secure the Bitcoin network, but it's got the exact same tokenomics as Bitcoin, as having decentralized. So that's one thing of what it could be. But I could have never predicted, Uber in 1995 that would emerge. In fact, I saw the Uber deal when it was like a seed Series A, and I was like, that's a terrible idea. No one's going to get in someone else's car. So shows you how much I know. But I do think that Bittensor it has the religious feeling of the early Bitcoin adopters, but in trying to solve, digital gold, decentralized money, eliminating government control over, your pocketbook, trying to instead help address major problems of the world through harnessing global intelligence.
And it feels that the future of the internet is intelligence at scale. And it feels that, one of the potential outcomes is this is not just about intelligence. It's just a decentralized internet's the wrong word, but
it's not even AI, honestly. I mean,
no, it's not.
This construct. And that's the thing, is these subnets are being launched right now. I mean, some of them are directly AI, it's inference or it's, training or fine tuning, but these subnets, they're just a competition where there's essentially an incentive for people to compete. So anything that you want to try to get people to compete around, that's what the subnets are used for.
Yeah, exactly. And so we might think it's AI now, but we literally have no idea what this is going to be used for. It's for decentralized work teams to get incentivized for activity that they do on behalf of others.
Yes, and have the incentive to work
together.
It's
a coordination layer.
Exactly. That's exactly right.
Fascinating.
Despite the fact that cryptocurrency adoption is increasing all over the world, Raoul Pal emphasizes that the real momentum is not coming from the United States of America, but rather from rapidly developing countries in Asia, Africa, and Latin America. Cryptocurrency is not merely considered an investment in countries such as Indonesia, Nigeria, the Philippines, and Vietnam. Rather, it is regarded as an indispensable instrument for the transfer of funds, the maintenance of wealth, and the resolution of day-to-day issues in economies that are unstable. In the meantime, real-world cryptocurrency use cases are flourishing in other regions, despite the fact that institutional interest in the United States continues to increase as a result of ETF approvals and regulatory actions. The 2024 Electric Capital Developer Report reveals that Asia is now responsible for producing nearly a third of the world's active cryptocurrency developers. This indicates that the center of innovation is rapidly shifting throughout the world. Across Africa, Southeast Asia, and South America, developers are working to create solutions that directly address the needs of their communities. One example of this is the real-world blockchain-powered supply chain system that PepsiCo South Africa has developed. This system is not just a technological experiment. It is a device that can perform its functions.
So what's next for you? Just continuing to look for companies in the space, invest in the space, trying to build this out?
Yeah, we're building out Yuma's team. There's a lot to do. It's a fast growing space. I still have my DCG hat on, and so I do still oversee all of DCG's investing activities. I'm still going to die on the hill that privacy tokens and Zcash in particular.
You've been shilling me those for years.
I have never been as convinced that privacy tokens and Zcash in particular we're going to wake up one day, people are going to realize financial privacy is important to them. And oh wow, there's a version of Bitcoin that's private.
How big is the Tau trust so far? How do people find information about that? Which is obviously is that part of TCG or part of UMA? Which
So
bucket
it's
is that?
actually it's a Grayscale. So Grayscale
Grayscale,
has Grayscale Potential Trust. It's not yet publicly quoted,
Right.
but that is all of the products become publicly traded. And so stay tuned for that. But people who are accredited investors can go to the Grayscale website, go to Grayscale Potential Trust, click a few buttons, and then they can invest in the trust that way. And UMA, we will at some point this year, we'll be rolling out product solutions for people to get exposure directly into the subnets themselves. And so that'll be a UMA solution.
Amazing. Listen, my friend, super fascinating. Let's see where it all plays out. It's complicated to get your head around because it is very different to anything else. And I've always found that you've been very early in finding some of this stuff, even though you've been dead wrong on Zcash so far. But
well, I'll come back well before the next 5 years and say, look how right I was.
yeah, just don't go back on Twitter and say it's going to be a big week. So as ever, fabulous conversation with Barry. Lots to unpack there. But the big thing is, look, it's very early in this kind of idea of distributed, decentralized compute, AI, inference, all of these things. Most of us don't yet understand it, but Barry has always been early to big mega trends. And I take it seriously when he really dedicates himself to something. So it's something worth looking into, something worth thinking about, and adding to your mix of where the future may go, where the future of the exponential age will lie.
Raoul Pal emphasizes that the true future of cryptocurrency will not be built on speculative trading floors or Wall Street investment products, but rather through adoption in the real world, where blockchain technology is already solving major problems. Cryptocurrency is being transformed from a speculative asset into a daily necessity by the regions that are driving this change. These regions are not the United States of America, but rather emerging economies. These ecosystems are actively thriving and expanding at a rapid rate, and Web3 projects are already having significant effects on supply chains, financial systems, and local governance. In order to fully realize the potential of cryptocurrency on a global scale, investors, builders, and innovators need to shift their focus towards high-growth regions where the technology is demonstrating its value on a daily basis. These regions are far beyond the hype cycles that are prevalent in the traditional financial world.